Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world, and welcome to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. I'm Lee Elias, and I'm with Mike Benelli, and today we're going to talk about something. There's a little phrase I like to say: success leaves clues. Success leaves clues if you put your phone down and look up for a minute. Now, listen, this is going to be a funny topic today, but Mike and I wanted to go over this thing about when you go to hockey camps or new hockey places or find new people, the importance of kind of being emotionally aware of the people around you and not having your head buried in the phone. And we've watched videos about this. We've seen people talk about this, Mike, where we see coaches that, hey, when we're talking, phones down. When you're at dinner, phone down, because the relationships you can establish with other people will help you grow as a human being. Like I said, success leaves clues, but you have to be looking for those clues if you want to find them.
Yeah, and it would even go further than just not having your phone, right? Because I think back in the day, when we didn't have phones,
Yeah.
you'd have kids that would just go sit in the corner, or they just sat by themselves, or you say, "Hey, who'd you meet at camp today?" And like, I don't meet anybody really. Like, I think you need to have a conscious choice to go into, right now I'm hearing it a lot because you're seeing all the development camps and you're seeing these are NHL hockey players, like men going into a program being told, "Hey, you know what the best success you're going to have is later on after hockey." And how do you build that success? Well, you build it in this room, the people you're going to be in the room with. And I would bring that right back down to, you go to a power skating camp, you go to, it's really, the discussion really is around those week-long hockey camps. If you're in a program like 4 or 5 days, or a weekend camp or sleepaway camp, really try to think about, what can I do? And the phone is a huge part of it. There's no doubt about it. I think as older, the directors and the people that run these programs, I think they probably zone in on the phone more because they see every kid at the table with their head down. But I think it's more about the conscious decision to say, if I can just put my phone down or put the other things that are outside of what I'm doing in the moment right now down, how can I broaden the cultural experience that I'm getting? And I think it can't just be about hockey. It's got to be talking to your teammate, talking to the person on the left of you, speaking to goaltenders, speaking to defensemen, forwards, finding out from other coaches what they like in players, what they don't like in players. And really, any kid can have this. I've had this conversation with 8-year-olds that ask me the greatest questions in the world, and 16-year-olds that will really kind of dig in and dive in to getting something out of the camp other than hockey skill. And I think it's so important. And I think because of the phones and because of the ability to go to a camp and play Xbox, in your dorm room all night, is why this conversation comes up, because we got to find ways to unplug and reconnect with the people that we're in the program with. And what better time to do it in an environment where, you're maybe not going to see any of these players ever again. You're only seeing them for a couple of days, a couple of hours. So get to know them, let them get to know you, make a great impression, and then find ways to, just build your inner self and your own ability by being a part of what everybody else is doing.
Well, I know a lot of the kids listening are saying, but I play Xbox and Call of Duty to make friends, and that's how I make friends. And look, it's true. You can communicate and have a lot of fun there, but the human to human interaction, especially in a team environment, it's a skill. It's a skill set that you need to learn. And Mike, it's funny. You remind us, a good friend of ours, Bryce Salvador, used to be captain of the New Jersey Devils. I remember he told us one time about, as he got older in the league and more established, one of the big changes from when he started was after practice, after games, a lot of the younger players would get their phones out and they would not interact. And he had to take it upon himself as a leader to make sure that that wasn't happening and saying, listen, we're going to get together. We're going to spend time together as people and learn a lot about each other. And that team ended up, going to the Stanley Cup final at one point. So those interactions and your ability to make friends, or this is the other half of it, if you see, as Mike said earlier, the kid in the corner, right? Or the kid who's by himself, that you make it a part of your leadership to go up to that person, introduce yourself, and start a conversation. You don't know how far that can go, kids, when you're listening to me right now. When you make the initiative to go and talk to somebody, that can be really brighten someone's day.
Oh God.
So,
And how hard is that, right? That's so hard to do as a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old
right.
or 16-year-old. Like, it's so hard to see another kid and then you being vulnerable enough to go over and sit with that player. Or, if you don't feel comfortable in that environment, seek them out at a later time in the day. Maybe when you're in line, you're on the bench, like, hey, after practice today, you want to eat with us? Or,
Right.
hey, we're having meal time, or we're doing a snack time, or, hey, the guys at room 316 are having popcorn tonight. You want to come join us? Because we don't know where other kids are from. And it's so comforting. Like that, I think as parents, we try to put our kids in like, oh, we're going to go to this camp. Who else is going to be in the camp?
Right.
Well, the hell, because
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
we
Other
want our own,
kids.
we want our own comfort. Go in there, you're going to meet friends, but then you got to remember there's other kids that maybe can't do that. Go out, seek those players and kind of bring them into your circle.
Right. We always talk about how great players make all the other players around them better. That's true off the ice too. A great leader will make everybody around them a better teammate. So whether you're on either side of that aisle, make sure you take the initiative to interact this summer, interact during your camps or during the winter or during your season. Your ability to interact with another person face to face is a massive, massive skill set that you're going to want to develop when you're talking to teammates, when you're talking to coaches. Eventually, you'll be talking to people interviewing you for a job. It's something you're going to want to do now. So fantastic topic, Mike. And this has been another episode of The Ride to the Rink. If you have questions, topics, or you want to talk to Mike, myself, or Christy about anything that we talked about, email us at team@ourkidsplayhockey.com. If you want more Ride to the Rink episodes, head over to ourkidsplayhockey.com or go for Our Kids Play Hockey on whatever podcast network you're listening to and look for the Ride to the Rink episode. That's going to do it for this edition. I'm Lee. That's Mike. Skate on and have a great week, everybody.